Good evening, folks. This is Matt Canizaro live at the National Bowling Stadium. We're at the 2013 USBC Open Championships. We're here to see some talented collegiate players. TJ Schmidt leading the way. He's got honor scores in 2 out of his 3 years here at the Open Championships. And we're being joined tonight by Aaron Smith. It's going to be an exciting one. Practice time right now. We'll have the rundown for you in just a minute, and it'll be underway. All right, there's a 2-minute warning, so in just a couple minutes we'll be underway with some very talented players. We saw the classic players, the seniors, just a couple days ago. Bob Lerner Jr., Kenny Parks. We saw the ladies, defending champs at the Women's Championships. And now we'll see some youngsters, Junior Team USA members, collegiate stars, and more. Stay tuned.
Practice is over. Ladies and gentlemen, flash photography is not permitted during coming competition. National Bowling Stadium, we're ready to begin competition. Bowlers at the sound of belly may begin. Good luck and good bowling.
All right, there it is, the sound of the bell here. And we are underway. The team event here at the 2013 USBC Open Championships. We're tuning in tonight to see TJ Schmidt, who's made quite a showing on the championship lanes in just a few years. 3 years in the books, and already has a 300 game and 855 series in 2011 and a 300 last year, both in doubles. So he's a team player and very successful collegiate player at that. So we're looking forward to some excitement tonight. And we'll have the rundown of the lineups here in just a minute. Aaron's getting some information right now from Mike Kahn, so stick with us. Appreciate everybody joining us here in 2013. We do understand there are some complications in trying to find everything on YouTube tonight. They have a new setup, but we do appreciate those of you who made it. So thank you, and tell all your friends and let them know how you got there. I'm sure TJ Schmidt and the guys won't disappoint. Nice little crowd joining us as we get settled here. Aaron Smith. I know you had a chance to talk to the guys for a minute. So how about a rundown of who we're watching today and maybe some of their career highlights, and then we'll watch some strikes, I'm sure.
All right, Matt. Thanks again for having me. And hello to everybody out there tuning in. On the top of our screen, we have Dynamic Apparel featuring Matt Fitch, William Smith, John Trzynski, Craig Hansen, and right now you're seeing Mike Kahn. Very talented group. And their crossing team, Lorenz Fab 5, in honor of Aaron Lorenz, who was scheduled to bowl but could not make it due to making the PBA telecast a few days ago. Actually, it was yesterday, I believe. So he had to change his schedules out bowling the summer swing. But their team's going to be Jacob Wright, Adam Voth, Jeremy Dixon, Steven Zimmer, and TJ Schmidt. Of course, you probably talked about a little bit already, Matt, but TJ Schmidt, kind of our feature guy here. And at the 2011 event here at the National Bowling Stadium, TJ went 300, 855 in his doubles. Just a monstrous number. We were looking at the score sheet. He actually had a chance stepping up in the 10th frame of game number 3 to go back-to-back 300s for an 868, which would have been the highest series in tournament history. And not to be outdone, he returned next year in Baton Rouge, shot another 300 in doubles, so he's looking to make it back-to-back-to-back years. Perfect games here at the Open Championships.
So what you're saying is that TJ Schmidt is the real deal.
He doesn't mess around. Out of Purdue University, he was an NCBCA All-American first teamer in 2010-2011. He was actually named the most valuable player of collegiate bowling that year, so certainly a nice title to have to your name. And certainly earned it that year as well. So like you said, a lot of familiar names here in the collegiate ranks. Mike Kahn out of Morehead State. He's an All-American in 2009-10, 11-12, and this year in 12-13. This year was his first time on the first team, to go along with a few second teams. He was a junior Team USA member in 2010, courtesy of his victory at the Junior Gold Championships in 2009. So talking to Mike Kahn before, actually right after practice, just to kind of get an idea of what they saw, because it looked like they were using a lot of surface in those first few minutes of practice. He said that was the game plan today. They started off, wanted to burn up right around 5, 6, 7 pretty much, but actually said it was hooking a little bit more than they all expected, so they ended up kind of migrating in a little bit already, so looking to be more around 8, 9, 10 here in game number 1.
Thanks to everybody who was able to find us. If you're just making it in, this is Matt Canizar and Aaron Smith live at the 2013 USBC Open Championships. A lot of great players on this squad, so we'll keep our eyes in every direction. To our left, we also have 2002 Masters champ Brett Wolf, and to our right, former Team USA member Daniel Patterson. And a very talented lady in Amy Stoltz, formerly Amy Rocco, back in my college bowling days. So it should be an entertaining night in front of us and in every direction. Also see Todd Whitesides, who bowled an 8-11 series in the team event here a couple of years back. Only had one 800 this year. It was in the team event. right, Aaron, I'm not a fan of technology today or this week. Things not going smooth, but luckily the folks at home have no idea, so everything looks good, and we're ready for some strikes.
Well, until you mentioned it right there.
Yep, now it's out.
All right, already in frame 3, we're moving along. I was going to say our last broadcast here from the Open Championships, we saw PBA 50 stars Kenny Parks and Bob Learn Jr. Put on a pretty nice show, so we're kind of going the other end of the spectrum here, getting some guys who are still in college or just fresh out, and we'll see how that collegiate atmosphere translates here at the Open Championship.
Well, there's certainly nothing like it, and we saw it last year with Nicholas J's Pro Shop as they came in here and pretended like it was just another exciting college event and came away with the team title. We already got some predictions in the chat room. Jacob Wright, 750 plus. We will see.
Jacob was the late addition to this team after Aaron Lorenz was unable to make it due to his PBA obligations. So I believe Jacob is out of Purdue from my quick search right before we went on the air here. So I believe he's one of TJ's teammates over in West Lafayette. If I'm wrong, someone please correct me.
Oh, you know they will.
But yeah, speaking of college, from what we could find, Matt Fitch out of Morehead State. I believe William Smith is also out of Morehead State. Craig Hansen, a Team USA and Junior Team USA member in 2010. Adam Voth, Morehead State. He was also an All-American honorable mention in 9-10. Jeremy Dixon out of Saginaw Valley State. Steven Zimmer, Morehead State. He was also an honorable mention in 10-11. So, and then John Drzezinski out of Weber International. So, although these guys don't have a lot of years here at the Open Championships, they certainly had the experience of bowling in a team atmosphere and making the easy work of these challenging lane conditions.
Well, Aaron, you mentioned the lane conditions. We're bowling on a 41-foot pattern here in the team event. First time in history, we have 2 different lane conditions. Doubles and singles pattern, 39 feet. A little more challenging based on the scores we've seen. A lot of great scores in the team event this year, including our tournament leaders. Lodge Lanes 2 of Orlando, Florida, rolled the highest team score in history. The record stood for 20 years. Group shot 35-38. So that's the highest 3-game team series in 110 years of Open Championships competition. John Gaines, John Janowitz, Vernon Peterson, Mitch Dubinsky, and Scott Newell. So those guys, no doubt, tuning in tonight. They know how talented these players are. They bowled against them. So we'll see. And in order to make the top 10 this year in the team event, it's well over 3,400. We have a record number of 34s this year. Last I checked, it was at 13. In 10th place, 34-36.
34-36 still the number, posted by Lynn's Lakers 1. Out of Brooklyn Park, Minnesota, featuring about 38 Eagles on that team, so that might be a little high, but I don't think I'm that far off.
Well, we've seen a lot of talented players. We've been here since March 1st, and we're not going anywhere. A couple more weeks left in this year's Open Championships. We'll be here until July 7th. A lot of folks we haven't seen yet. Mike Nape, yet to come through. all these great players we're looking at now. And even on the very last weekend, Jason Milligan, Del Ballard. So it's going to be exciting until the end. Also at the Women's Championships, a lot of good players still coming through. There's TJ Schmidt with his first double of 2013.
Sure he'll have a few of those tonight for our live stream audience.
Looks like Aaron Lawrence checking in the chat room. Great bowling this week, sir. Certainly a commendable reason to miss your spot at the Open Championships, but like we said, we're here till July, so feel free to stop by later on. Also later tonight, PJ Haggerty, David O'Sullivan, former PBA standouts Adam Colton, Rick Sajak, and Steve Wilson. Not together, that's two different groups. So if you want to find out what's happening here at the Open Championships, definitely visit bowl.com. We'll have all the news and recaps on there. Feature stories, score stories, honor scores, you name it, we'll have it there for you.
Nice conversion there by Matt Fitch, the 3.6910. We had a conversation about that on our last broadcast. Arguably the toughest spare. That's not a split out there, so. This both covers up the 7.
Aaron, last year, Steve Zimmer and Schmidt, that 300 game actually helped them to a fantastic doubles finish, 1397. They finished 18th on a very tough condition. And Zimmer now up on the left lane, working on 3 in a row.
It's a little wide, leaves the 2-7 out there.
So we don't want to leave out TJ's doubles partner in 2011, going with his dad that year. And as soon as they were done, I believe Dad told him, didn't ask him, didn't offer, said, "You're not bowling with us next year." And TJ went on to find a very talented team, as you're watching now. But a lot of great father-son moments at this event. Certainly something that you don't want to pass on that opportunity. There's something they'll always share, was that nearly history-making day.
Very close, very close.
So TJ on the short list of bowlers with a 300 and an 800 at the Open Championships. Now he's got 2 300s, also another short list.
TJ's able to get the light mixer there for 3 in a row.
So Aaron, it looks like TJ's got quite the following. A lot of folks in the chat room tonight. Appreciate everybody being here.
And I'm sure that's across the country, not only from Indiana.
So let's see if Dynamic Apparel can get back on track after Para opens here. Mike Kahn looking for 3 in a row. Leaves the 4-pin. We've seen Mike throw some strikes. We were at the Hoosier Classic not too long ago in Indianapolis. Mike's Moorhead team had a nice run. Came up a little bit short. Just kidding. It came up big. Mike Kahn doesn't come up short. They did have an exciting match that day. With A.J. Johnson and the McKendree crew.
Yeah, that came down to the final frame, and a stuff 8 ended McKendree's run in the 10th frame. I remember that like it was almost yesterday.
Was almost yesterday.
Yeah, I can't believe this crazy ride started back in February for us. So we're, you think we'd be better at this by now too?
Well, sir, as my bowling performance showed, sometimes all the practice in the world doesn't help. But we appreciate everybody tuning in anyway. Sound on or sound off. We'll let the strikes tell the story.
It is nice to have that option. Nice shot by Schmidt there. 3 spares.
For the left-hander, Chris Hester checking in as well. They'll be here pretty soon. It's going to be on the live stream broadcast, June 15th. They actually canceled their spot here in 2013 until they saw the live stream schedule and realized they were actually on it. And bought that spot right back up. And where there's collegiate bowlers, there's a Gary Brown.
GB.
USBC, director of collegiate, all kinds of goodies, Gary Brown.
Should just have Gary call in, put him on speakerphone, and take care of it for us the rest of the way out here.
No doubt he spent a lot of time with these guys over the last couple of years. Drzezinski, a national champion at Weber International. Bowled with him for 5 days at the USBC Team USA trials a couple of years back. I just tried to blend in. They had no idea who I was. Watched Craig Hansen shoot 300 that week as well. Throwing shots like that. Craig from my old stomping grounds in the Florida area.
Yeah, when Craig was on Junior Team USA, he actually went out and won a gold medal with Andrew Koff at the WTBA World Youth Championships over in Finland. So that has to be a one of a kind experience. Traveling overseas to represent your country, and wouldn't be surprised to see a few of these guys over the years make add their name to that Team USA list as well.
Well, Aaron, just want to clarify, TJ's dad is in the chat room, and didn't mean to imply that he was thrown off the team, but his dad did tell him just needed to bowl with some serious bowlers, make some money. That's what he's doing. Same idea, and here we are.
All right, TJ stepping up on 24 here at the National Bowling Stadium. 5th frame, game number 1. Looks like a roto grip disturbed. He did not like that one off his hand. Definitely right. Misses the head pin, but it seems every broadcast a disturbed sighting comes up here or there, so something about that ball this year.
Well, and from what we've seen, TJ can strike with pretty much anything. That was a very cool day back in 2011. Just being down there watching him throw strike after strike. The fact that he had his friends and family there as part of the action made it even better, I'm sure. But 268, followed it up with 300, then actually had the front 10 the last game. And, you know, hard to even describe what the feelings are at that point. We've only had back-to-back 300s here one time in history, and that was in 2003. Ron Barr on the way to the singles title.
837, right?
That's correct, and no doubt some nerves there, but 800 already in the books at the time. It was a lot of fun, no matter what, no matter how it ended. You got the first 300, got the 800, so it's all gravy at that point. And then to come back last year and do it again on a very difficult condition. We only had 19 last year compared to 52 in 2011, so obviously showing some versatility there. And some good news is that the team pattern this year, 41 feet, is very similar to what we bowled on here in 2011. A little bit of hold out there as well, so you've got some room to make a little bit of a mistake. And then the doubles and singles pattern is very similar to last year in Baton Rouge, 39 feet, a little more hook in the middle. So TJ should be all set. We're right in his wheelhouse.
Going to say one of the changes from 2011 though to 2013 talked about having 2 different oil patterns. I believe we had a total of, was it 52 300s in 2011? Excuse me there. But right now we only have 24 in the books in day number 94, and only one of those has come in doubles so far. So the addition of 2 oil patterns this year and having the opportunity to bowl everything on the fresh has been a little tricky. A lot of folks saying that the doubles and singles pattern is somewhat similar to the what you saw out in Baton Rouge. So obviously scores were a little lower last year. Just a double for Hansen. Dynamic apparel putting together a very nice 6th frame here. 4 strikes so far.
So Aaron, not only is the chat room right now a who's who of collegiate bowling, the questions and all the comments are coming faster than I can even read them. So appreciate the huge crowd we've got here tonight.
Absolutely, always a pleasure, and always fun getting texts from back home. I guess technically not back home, but I'd like to thank Tom Zeller out of Saginaw, Michigan. Not the university, but Michigan itself, for stopping in, saying hello. He's supposed to bowl with us this year, and he could not make it, so he missed out on our fun weekend of not bowling well. There's a nice shot by Zimmer. Definitely have a few opens up on the board early on here, but see a lot of doubles so far as well.
Well, 35-38, the number on top. That's a monster, a warlock, as they say. We had a couple close calls the last few days, a few 3300s that could have been much more. certainly got to keep those holes to a minimum. See if they can get something going. Great shot there from TJ. The ring 10.
Now, could that be a ring dime, or is the dime reserved for flat hits? Did we ever figure this one out? I know we still have a saying for flat 7, but other than flat 7. But
hey, it's our show. We can say whatever we want. Outside of, you know, profanity. But a couple of weeks ago, we did get to say schmucks a lot. We had the sports.
You got to say it a lot.
Sports,
I didn't.
Sports schmucks came on, a radio show. And those guys were in town bowling and got to come on and talk a little bit about what they do and the fact that they are big supporters of the Open Championships. Matt McNeil on their show weekly, and we have plans to be on there later in the year. A lot of great opportunities to be in the media. Did a few radio shows here in Reno. Showed off the stadium to some different folks in the past couple days. I think this Open Championship thing's catching on.
They're getting to know us in Reno a little bit.
Some more famous people in the chat room. Brandon Novak. I believe he had a big tournament win today.
Shootout at the fort, I believe.
The shootout at the fort.
300 the last game?
That's correct.
Man, Facebook is informative.
Josh Scanlon stopping by down in Florida. Yeah, he also made some noise at the Team USA trials that year.
For a little different reason?
Yeah, not quite the same way as the other guys, but he threw a very interesting shot. And it blew up on YouTube. So hard to really describe, but getting a strike on the other lane. If you like to open another window, I believe you can find that on Bowl TV or Google that. It's certainly worth a watch. Aaron, the official word from their missing teammate, Aaron Lawrence, says it might have started too deep. So we'll see as things progress. As you said, they started with a lot of surface, trying to really carve it up a little bit, create some area. They might be creating some trouble early on here. We've seen some different strategies this year. So we won't know till it's over if it worked or not, obviously.
I was going to say from recollection, I think, or I believe I read or heard at some point that Lodge Lane's 2 boys actually started off with a lot of surface outside as well, and then they were, some of them were in pretty deep by the end of that run. And but yeah, we found a lot of folks have found ways to shoot 3,300 and 3,400 this year. So the question remains: can anyone figure out how to set a record?
Well, if you're watching along at home and you want to check out some other lanes here at the Open Championships, just go to xbowling.com on the computer or on your phone. Free app at the App Store, iPhone or Android device. X Bowling Tournament Edition. Pull that up and perhaps pull up lane 30 at this point. A lot of strikes being thrown. Just 2 holes in frame number 1 and a whole bunch of strikes to follow. Once again, lane 30 here at the Open Championships. You can find that on xbowling.com. keep our eye on that as well. And Brett Wolf, 2002 Masters champ, over on lane 15, if you're curious about how he's doing.
Where are the odds he's throwing that blue hammer right now?
Odds are pretty good usually. I believe he feels pretty comfortable in this building. Had a 300 in singles. Almost won all events in 2010. Picked the wrong year to shoot 22.45.
I guess there's really never a wrong year to shoot 2200, but yeah. Whoops. Todd Whiteside's running 290 to our right. Keep an eye on him as well. Tough squad out here today. The past few days actually has been pretty solid to go along with these talented gentlemen we're watching right now. You could see on 24 there the Dynamic Apparel teammates kind of all standing in line behind Mr. Fitch there as they all kicked off. Something we saw a lot at the Hoosier Classic. Not only is everybody up and ready to bowl, but they're out there watching every shot, talking a lot.
Well, that certainly is the collegiate way of life.
But Trzynski is standing up right behind him, and Hansen is waiting as well. So they're looks like both stuck a little bit there at the line, but able to put together a strike in frame 8.
Aaron, apparently it's TJ's former teammate, Jeff. It's his birthday today, so happy birthday, Jeff.
How about that? Happy birthday, Jeff.
Almost feel inadequate being amongst this group, both in person and in the chat room. Some of the names and accomplishments just this week alone between Aaron and Brandon. Of course, all the great accomplishments we're talking about here. .35-38, leading scorer in the team event. 34-36 to make the top 10 is Trzynski. 2 opens, but 6 strikes as he rolls the 10 there.
And Zimmer's got 7 out of 8.
We know Zimmer can strike. 1397 in doubles last year. Pretty great accomplishment.
Yeah, 1397 this year. Be sitting in the top 10.
Squeak in there for sure.
.1440 currently leading regular doubles. Brian Burkhart and Rick Gatlin. 1397 will put you in a tie for 7th, though, so 1387 rounding out the top 10 in regular doubles.
Well, how'd you like the pressure of being TJ's doubles partner here at the Open Championships after the last 2 years?
I don't know if I would. Granted, he'd carry me to a cash every year, but.
It's right up there with being teammates with Matt McNeil. Try to stay out of his way a little bit.
Nice cover there by Mike Kahn. After that unfortunate 5-7 there. That 5 wanted to fall for a while there, but. But yeah, certainly good friend Charles Vachon has his work cut out for him every year, so.
Brett Wolf finding his groove over on lane 15. He's got a 5-bagger. Todd Whiteside's down on 36, still striking on 290 pace.
Still strikes on lane 30 as well.
It's like their companion team that includes Dan Patterson and Amy Stoltz starting to catch up. Perhaps we'll see a little bit of magic here. It's a great shot from Adam Voth for a double.
Some interesting team names on 29 and 30. Dan paid for this team, and the absolute bombs, y'all.
Well, nice to see folks get creative. That way, when you do make some noise, make it on a leaderboard, it's a memorable one.
All right, strong start to the 9th so far for both teams. Really looking to rally and get themselves up to a decent number here. Great shot by Dixon there.
So a little bit of momentum here in the 9th frame.
Looks like Jeremy's made a ball change over the course of these past few frames from where he started, moved in a little bit.
Tough break there for Trzynski. Looks like his name is spelled wrong on the scoreboard. But he's going to be shooting at the 410. Zimmer goes high on a 4-bagger, leaves the 3-6-10. No wireless capabilities for us tonight, so we can't get down there and find out what's happening in the Setzi area. Not sure I'd want to. We'll let them do their thing.
Zimmer records his first spare. Let's see if TJ can get all 10 to cooperate here. He's been all around the pocket, but those 3 early strikes, all he has to show for it right now.
Good shot from Hansen, his 3rd double of the night. Strike for TJ, but we know spares are good too. We know he's going to save all his strikes for doubles, so he doesn't want to waste them too early. It's understandable.
Of course. Looks like these guys are in the pocket for the most part here, late in game number 1.
Just a matter of pins cooperating at this point. Big crowd on hand, both in person and in the chat room. We appreciate it. If you just made it in, we're at the end of game number 1 here on this 7 p.m. team event. 2013 USBC Open Championships. TJ Schmidt, the man of the hour. He's been a striking machine the last 2 years at the Open Championships, averaging 224 in 3 years on the tournament lanes. Trying to find some magic here. 2013. This is Matt Canizaro and Aaron Smith. Or Aaron Smith and Matt Canizaro.
Can handle either role.
Aaron, another number we haven't talked about much lately, team all events. We had a couple of runs right after 10,247 set by Junior Team USA support, Eric Vermillion and company. A few teams challenged it not too long after that, and then it's been kind of quiet. Some big team events and then not much happening in doubles and singles. Perhaps that number is bigger than we thought.
Possibly so, Matt. Yeah, that top 10 hasn't changed in a long time. It's been all the usual suspects have been up there and been up there for a while. Once again, the 10,247 leading. Hornswogglers out of Staten Island made the closest run, falling 43 pins short. I can only imagine thinking over the course of 45 games where a few of those pins could have been, but certainly a fantastic number in its own right. We've had 6 teams break the 10,000 barrier this year. In 9906, Team NABRrankings.com, featuring Mike Rose, rounds out the top 10.
Well, see if any of our stars tonight can make it happen. Some big team sets last night. Right now, we're watching TJ Schmidt, his talented group. Matt Fitch, 220 in the books. Jacob Wright stepping in for Aaron Lawrence, who's back in the Midwest, was on the PBA telecast that taped this week. Don't want to spoil it. Maybe later. We'll tell you how he did. Adam Voth, 163. Brett Wolf, blue hammer in hand, down on lane 15, working on a 5-bagger.
I can easily tell that from here. His shirt almost matches. I wonder how many bowling balls he actually brings every time he comes out here, especially to the stadium. It's just the Blue Hammer. Walk down center aisle, big urn style. Letting everyone know the Blue Hammer's in the house.
Dixon misses the head pin for an 8 count here in the 10th frame. Got the first one though.
That double for Trzynski gets him into the 190s. Dixon finishes 202. Over on 35 and 6. Todd Whiteside's still striking. He'll be stepping up in the 10th frame shortly.
Aaron, Chris Hester seems surprised that Brett Wolf is throwing the Blue Hammer. He just shot 225. Probably going to see it some more this weekend.
Well, with that new ice oil, he's going to take a little bit longer for that Blue Hammer to heat up.
Well, tomorrow's pattern a little bit shorter, 39 feet. A little more hook overall, so he bowled well in singles last year. We'll see how tomorrow goes for sure. Over on lanes 29 and 30, 1068 and 1100. So nice start there for those two teams. Wolf's team 1062. Looks like they may not be with a companion team. The other team on the pair shot 749.
Looks like they're out of Missouri as well, so.
Vernon Peterson is another celebrity sighting. So Zimmer here with a double. Solid 10th frame for him. See if we can get one more. Smith and Trzynski also doubled up.
Yeah, they'll be over 10,000 with this offering from Craig Hansen. Hansen finishes 214. Zimmer 238. As both anchors step up. Mike Kahn can add another 50 onto Dynamic Apparel's score, while Schmidt can add 60 for Lorenz Fab 5.
All right, Aaron, so looking down on lane 36, Todd Whiteside still striking up in the 10th now. That is quite a finish for his team.
Very big 10th frame.
Leadoff bowler, strikes on the first shot, and then 2, 3, 4, all punching the 10th. So
fortunately, there's some not so high scores with some of those. So.
Well, yeah, but 2, 3, 4, all finished with the last 4 at least. See if Whitesides can follow suit. And he does not. He gets an 8 count.
Still a lot of bowling left to do, so. What year did you say his 800 came in? Was that 2011?
2011. Record year here at the Open Championships.
16 800s? I say with a question mark because I was retired in 2011, so.
Aaron out of retirement now, but yes, all of these folks still coming in the same week. We saw Chris Prather this week as well. Whitesides, 8-11 in the team event.
Well, he'll be in the 260s here. He converted that spare, so.
Of course, Mr. Smith, 2011 is the year of the wagon. 636 in the team event, and then back-to-back 800. First time that's ever happened in doubles and singles to win singles and all events. So, got his own term now at the Open Championships.
So back-to-back 300s is the bear?
Could be. It's only happened once.
All right, but on 23 and 4 right now here live in 2013, Mike Kahn finishes 213, TJ Schmidt 212. Dynamic Apparel 1057. Lorenz Fab 5. Barely plus 1003. So they're going to have a lot of work to do to get up to that 35-38 leading score. But we've seen these kids strike at will before as well, so. And they've been around the pocket a lot too, just a matter of all 10 pins cooperating here. We should be ready for some fireworks.
Well, certainly a decent start here, but a lot of work to be done now. It's like 1062 for Whitesides and crew, down on 36.
He finished with 267. But yeah, looking at the top 10 right now, only currently in 6th, Team Paps featuring Chris Gibbons went 1053 their first game before going 1192, 1205 for 3550. Junior Team USA Support started 1063 before 1205 and 1253 to get to 3521. So it can be done. They but definitely need to be right around that 1200 mark from here on out.
Well, we certainly know based on the strategy, playing with surface early, trying to break down, off to the outside part of the lane, and that way you can creep left, create some friction to the right. Get you a better angle for carry for sure, if you can keep the ball in the pocket, of course.
Tough break for Hansen there. Unable to get the 4-9 out.
Sure, he'll give it a run. It's always fun watching Craig bowl. There you have it.
Just like that.
Clockwork.
Piece of cake.
Cake? Speaking of cake, Emil Williams Jr. checked in earlier as well. Trying to get him to come back, the heartbeat of this operation. We're limping along here in 2013. Between the two venues, Open Championships here at the National Bowling Stadium, March 1st to July 7th. And Aaron's baby, the Women's Championships, right down the street at the Reno Sparks Convention Center. First time in history, both events being held in the same host city in the same year. Women's Championships kicked off April 12th. Will go until July 1st. 81 days of competition there. Some excitement over there already. A few live stream broadcasts as well. And we'll be there on the final day of team competition with record holder Jody Westner and a very talented group of ladies. So looking forward to that. Time is flying by. The rest of the live stream schedule here at the Open Championships, very simple. On the 15th, we'll have Chris Hester and company. And then about 10 days later, Pete Thomas, top senior player from the Oklahoma area, and Zeno Garcia, who owns a 300 game here at the Open Championships back when Aaron was just a kid in 1996.
I was a little guy back then. Not compared to most of these guys we're watching right now, though.
It's very true.
Usually I'm the youngest one around for most of these, but we're the elder statesmen of the surrounding area of 23 and 4 here, so.
Well, I do feel like I'm back in time a little bit, looking around, of course. College bowling with Brett Wolf, Dan Patterson, Amy Rocco Stoltz, Brandon Baird. Also, he actually dropped a bowling ball on my foot at the Intercollegiate Team Championships back in 1998.
That's a way to get in your head.
So, and then he bowled a 300 game here at the Open Championships. So he was recognized before this squad. Quite a few celebrities. He's got one. Whitesides, of course, with the 800. Edward Bass, they call him Tony. 300 here as well. TJ Schmidt, Brett Wolf. Of course, a lot of teams like to come the same time every year. So when you find success and you get on the announcements and you do stick to your squad times, then you all end up together.
All right, a few early doubles up on the board here in game 2.
Getting crowded, getting a little claustrophobic. We are behind lanes 23 and 24 here at the National Bowling Stadium. About 8 inches between us and the stadium seating here.
On the bright side, though, at least we're not in the way.
Tell you what, Matt Canizaro 2007 might not be able to fit here. That was about 50 pounds ago. The waitress would be having some trouble squeezing by.
But look at you now.
Look at TJ Schmidt on track with a double here in game 2. Jeremy Dixon standing back here checking out the 2013 Open Championships souvenir yearbook. You can check that out on bowl.com. Go to the Open Championships page, look for the publications information box, or you can pick one up at the USBC sports store for $5. Grab that along with all your USBC Open Championships merchandise. A lot of great things in there. We even got USBC Championship Tournaments flash drives. So we're on the cutting edge of technology. A bowling pin shaped flash drive. Souvenir from the Open Championships. So check that out when you're on site here at the National Bowling Stadium.
Certainly plenty to check out this year at the Taj Mahal of 10 pins.
So another one of our heroes in the chat room, Mike Larson. He bowled 300 at the Open Championships last year. He was one of the 19, him and TJ Schmidt. And he asked if the remodeling, when they're doing all that, they're going to take our live stream into consideration. Well, I believe that's why they're doing the remodeling, to make more room for us and our gear and the crowds of people who come to.
That was the first point in the contract, right?
Absolutely. They want to hound us for autographs and see what the hoopla is all about here, so we need to make room for that for sure. But seriously, the deal with Reno is that our contract extension includes $15 million in renovations to the National Bowling Stadium. That started last year. Downstairs on the ground floor, we've got a satellite bowling museum and Hall of Fame, and 10 brand new 900 global showcase lanes inside the Kingpin Club. Used to be a restaurant. Now it's the second nicest bowling facility in Reno, Nevada. 10 lanes. A lot of things happening down there as well. Your team can go down there and practice for 1 hour on the tournament team lane condition. Reasonably priced at $100. Split that up, just $10 a guy. And if you want some help, 3-time champ Matt McNeil, USBC Silver Coach, is down there to help you out. $200, $20 a guy to get the insight of the young man who's averaged nearly 250 the last 4 years here. And while you're down there, 2 side events happening as well. The 900 Global 2-game challenge and Who's Got the Look Baker Bonanza. So some different formats. Average base division, something fun, something quick if you want the 2-gamer. Daily and year-long payouts. I don't want to bore you with the details, but you can check that out on the Open Championships page as well, or you can go to bowl.com/showcase lanes for details, information, contact info as well.
Great shot by Zimmer there. Start off with the 3-bagger. Wright also has the front 3, and TJ is looking to join him.
Question in the chat room, do they have enough steam for 1200 here in game number 2? Well, they're going to need it. See if we can get everybody on board here. Adam Voth yet to strike. Everybody else cruising here in game 2. See if TJ can make it 3 in a row. We like that one.
I've been a little bit left, but found some hold in the brand new ice oil.
Certainly a little bit of hold on this team pattern, 41 feet.
There's a 3-bagger for Mr. Khan.
Steven Padilla checking in. He'll be here soon as well.
Yeah, very shortly.
Nick Cyphers, Scott Savage. It's like a Purdue reunion.
There's a nice shot by Fitch for his first strike in game number 2 here. And Wright gets just enough of that 3-pin.
Brett Wolf's teammate, Hugh Rodman, on lane 15 has the front 5. We'll keep an eye on that. You want to check it out on xbowling.com, feel free to do so. Or on your iPhone or Android device. Brandy Wolf, Brett's sister, walking by as well.
Everybody's here today.
Place to be.
We're having a party.
National Bowling Stadium, 4 great tournaments happening. We talked about the side events downstairs. On the far side of the 4th floor, lanes 69 through 78, the Storm Bowlers Journal Championships presented by USBC. Your chance to test out the doubles and singles pattern. It's being featured over there. Different divisions, singles, doubles, something for everybody. Reasonably priced, check it out. When you're here, put on your bowling shoes early in the morning. You don't have to take them off until the end of the night.
Yeah, just looking around, we're starting to see a lot of strikes up there. You mentioned Brett Wolf's team on 15. A few pairs from our feature pair. Joseph Wallace, front 5 on lane 19. We're still striking on 29 and 30. Well, 29 struggling a little bit this game. Still a lot of strikes on 30. How about that? Jeremy Dixon with the fantastic break for the 3-bagger. Those are the kind of shots you got to capitalize on. You step up for the next time. Front four for Zimmer. We'll start off with 238 in game number one, high for both teams.
All right, so a lot of strikes on the board here and around us. Key Rodman, front six. Mason Sherman over on lane 15, 5 out of 6. That's only as far as we can see. This place is full tonight. We're using 64 lanes for the Open Championships this year. Built a nice wall. Almost looks like it was there to begin with, separating the Open Championships from the Bowler's Journal.
The new partition. There's a nice shot for Volth, getting his first strike here in game two. After 2 early opens. We'll need a few more shots like that from him, along with everybody else, if they want to make Vernon Peterson and those guys sweat it out a little bit here.
Vernon's still hanging around for sure, and some other folks, Stephen Padilla, checking in to see if they get some final tips before heading this way.
Rough break for Jeremy Dixon there after cashing in on some nice pin carry on 24. Catches a pocket 7-10 right after that. The strikes have gone red for Hugh Rodman. As Zimmer takes out the 10 late. I believe
there's some emotion, there's some fire.
Oh, for sure. I believe Mr. McNeil will call that a bird dog, perhaps. One of his terms this year.
Let's see if TJ can follow suit. He's only got the front 4. Nobody in tournament history has 3 perfect games. And nobody will tonight. Yet. Still time, TJ.
Good catch there. I know time does fly, but we're still only in game 2, so we got a ways to go still. Now, Mike Kahn also went high on 23. Last shot left a Greek church.
A couple pairs over. Joseph Wallace has the front 6. Number 7's the one that matters around here. The strikes turn red. Folks who are unfamiliar feel like they did something wrong. It's kind of funny sometimes.
Yeah, we talked about that a little bit on our last broadcast here from the Open Championships. Matt McNeil and Brent Bowers stepped in for a little bit as well, and we were kind of talking about the effect of the red strikes up on the board there. It certainly can be a bit intimidating. Obviously, that draws all the attention your way, so everyone wondering what's going on over there.
Well, I started my team event this year with the 3-bagger, and I was a wreck. Not really, but that didn't go well anyway after that, so wheels fell off. That's why we sit back here and watch all these great bowlers.
Solid point. Big double there for both.
Both on track. Struggled here early. Shot 163 in game number 1. That's why it's a team game. Somebody's down, pick him up. Let's see if Dixon can make it 3 in a row.
To our left, Hugh Rodman's string of strikes ends at 7 with a 7 count, and that's another 7-10 on 23.
So Dixon going for the team 3-bagger here in the 6th frame. Gets it.
Bounces back nicely. Now, Matt, I know we've seen a lot of bad breaks with the 7-10 this year here on our live streams, but have we ever actually seen anyone convert it here live on Bowl TV?
I've seen a lot of things live on the air. I don't believe I've seen that here. I did just see Steven Zimmer with a 6-bagger and a team 4-bagger. So Lawrence's Fab 5 rolling here in the middle of game number 2.
See in the chat room, someone was wondering if Steven Zimmer was throwing the Storm Lucid, and from what we can see right here, that is a weapon of choice right now.
Schmidt back on track with the Scout.
a messenger, if you will. More formal terms. Great sixth frame for this group out of the Midwest. Mike Kahn comes back strong on 23 after his Greek church in the fourth frame.
261, still a good score.
I take it.
You did?
I would.
Your second 2 games of team event. Just about. It wasn't that bad.
It was close, though. Thanks for the reminder.
Ron Willard, shout out, checking in the chat room.
Scout doesn't get that 10 pin for right. Denying him a 3-bagger here in the 7th. Now we saw a lot of these guys make it over to El Paso in 2010 when the Intercollegiate Team Championships was held on the same venue as the Women's Championships that year. And next year, all those collegiate folks have that opportunity once again, as the 2014 ITC and ISC making their way to the biggest little city in the world, over at the Reno Sparks Convention Center, home of the 2013 and 14 Women's Championships. So once again, these kids will get a chance to get a glimpse of the biggest stage in bowling.
Brzezinski with the 3-bagger. He's been on the big stage, national champion at Weber. Both on track here with a 3-bagger as well.
These guys are starting to get a little bit loud too. Little motion coming out here, so reminiscent of that collegiate atmosphere.
Just got an exclamation point out of Gary Brown. Said, thanks for the promo.
Anytime, GB. I know you weren't there, but 2010, the ITCs in El Paso was a good time. So that was very happy to be able to help out that week, and it's a lot of fun getting to watch some local kids succeed at Cal College and make it all the way to the finals.
Well, here's Steven Zimmer trying to succeed here at the Open Championships. Working on the front 6. Make that 7. Aaron, the last time I was actually at the ITCs, again, 1998.
Yikes.
Yes, sir. So looking forward to being part of that atmosphere again next year.
1998, jeez. In case you're wondering, TJ Schmidt was 10 at the time.
That was so long ago that I do have a video of that. However,
Is it in black and white?
I don't have a VCR to play it on anymore.
We have too much fun here, don't we? It's the kind of quality entertainment you folks pay so much for.
Certainly getting their money's worth at home tonight. Gary Brown pointing out the convention center atmosphere along with the ITCs. Nothing like either one of them. Put them together, and it's electrifying. And for a lot of those bowlers, it's a great break for Fitch as the 7 goes late. But a lot of those collegiate players, that might be their first real taste of the Open or Women's Championships. And I think it's the venue. That's one of the greatest selling points of these national tournaments. Just something about walking in with the high ceilings and the bright lights and walking down center aisle. That's what keeps you coming.
For sure. And then, I mean, every aspect of collegiate bowling comes into play here. The teamwork needed, the communication. And that's, you know, definitely the aspects needed to succeed here on the highest level at the Open Championships. And, you know, a group like this, I'm sure, is going to, if they keep up and keep working hard on their games, they're going to be a force to be reckoned with for a long, long time here.
And these guys are moving along. I feel like it was just 2 seconds ago that Adam Voth was throwing his 3rd strike in a row. There's 4. Jeremy Dixon looking for a 3-bagger of his own. And then it's Steve Zimmer, the man of the moment.
Once again, Steve, 238 in the opener.
Looks like Dixon's throwing some deviated equipment tonight.
Yep.
Got the patch on his back. And
that's one
there.
of the brutal nightmare, or
got the same one Will Garber threw.
I believe so.
Our lone left-handed 300 here in 2013.
And our good friend Mike Flanagan was calling it the psychedelic-looking ball.
He's the marketing guy. He knows what sells balls. And psychedelic-looking is the phrase of the day, then
by all means.
Just like if you say he's throwing that gold-looking thing, pretty much everybody knows you're talking about the new Storm Ball.
The IQ Pearl Tour, or Tour Pearl. I guess the Tour comes first.
Here's Zimmer up on the right lane. Everybody getting excited now. That's the front 8.
All right. Crowd is zoning in a little bit as well. Everyone get a little bit closer. Anticipating Mr. Zimmer's next delivery.
We're minutes away. We're already looking like a safety hazard here. The crowd to our right, gathering around. We did catch Will Garber's 300 on the live stream. There's another messenger for TJ, keeping the mood light. He's got 7 out of 8. Mike Kahn wants a piece of that as well. 4 out of 5 for Dynamic Apparel in the 8th frame. And we're back to the top of the order, just like that.
Yeah, they're not fooling around here. They're looking to capitalize on that momentum as quickly as possible. Jacob Wright looking to bounce back after a 7-10 last frame. Seems like we've been saying that a lot.
So Aaron, there's somebody in the chat. The front 12 calling the 300 already. Must be fate. Leadoff bowler Jacob Wright stepping in for Aaron Lawrence.
That would be all right. We've it's been a few days since our last one here, looking for the number 25.
Yeah, you need something to do. We're closing in on the 800th perfect game in tournament history. Right now we're at 794 in 110 years of competition.
A statistic only Matt Cannizzaro will pull out. These guys are rolling, setting up the 9th frame here. As they get closer to starting the 10th, we'll get you a max score for them. They're now we talked through around that 1200 number, and by all accounts, it looks like it's certainly attainable here.
That ball checked up early and hard for Dixon. Leaves the 9-pin.
Crossed over there. And
All right, folks, the moment you've all been waiting for. Steve Zimmer up on lane 23. He's got the front 8. Last two looked a little bit left. High flush. See if he's going to make a move. Perhaps he just tugged him a little bit. Certainly in 4-pin territory the last two shots. No doubt about that one as he saws the 10 out.
front 9 in the books. So if you haven't told everybody already, get on Facebook. If you're friends with Steven Zimmer, tag him. Front 9 Bowl TV live right now. TJ 8 out of 9 here. Jeff Riggles and company can sleep tight for another day. By my calculations, 1280 still out there for Lorenz Fab 5.
Comical question in the chat room, Aaron. Dynamic Apparel is our team name on lane 23, yet they don't have matching shirts. I actually posed that question last week to Bob Schoeneman and Stephen Padilla's group. Their team is DAP Embroidery. But yet they don't have matching shirts either, so see if they can talk to their sponsor, make some things happen. When you get your picture taken, you want to look good. Zimmer and Schmidt, they got their jerseys on, trying to get their pictures taken.
All right, 10th frame action kicking off here. Big score on the board for Lorenz Fab 5. Steven Zimmer, front 9. All right, kicks it off the right way. See what I did there?
Aaron Schmidt getting clever here, 90-something days into the Open Championships.
Had to shake the rust off.
Kick things off on March 1st. We're here till July 7th. 10,253 teams coming our way. We've seen 24 perfect games thus far.
It's a great shot by Matt Fitch there, bouncing back after a few early opens with a 6-bagger. Get him into the 220s.
A solid game happening right now. On lane 15, Brett Wolf and company, 255, 246, 232, 222, and Brett possible 217. They started with 1062. They're already well over 1,100, so keep our eyes on that. If you want to check it out on X Bowling, feel free to do so. That is lane 15. Solid effort on lane 29 and 30 as well. So check it out. That's what it's there for. Get online, get on your phone, and of course, stay with us here on Bowl TV. 2013 USBC Open Championships. Steven Zimmer, one frame away from the record books.
Good place for that for Mr. Wright. 6 count on the fill for 219. 229, excuse me. Don't want to shortchange anybody here.
Looks like Brett Wolf and company, 1160. So they've got 22-22 after 2 games. Aaron's going to scribble that down. We'll keep an eye on their total.
That's a lot of 2s. That's a lot of strikes for Lorenz Fab 5. There's a 6-bagger for Voth after 2 early opens.
Curious what Voth did there in frame number 5. Well, obviously it's working.
Sure, a lot of communication was going on there. Everyone else was striking early on here in game 2, and would not be surprised if his teammates got him back on track to put up this flurry of strikes.
Almost another 7-10.
Seen way too many of those today. Fortunate to get the 10 out, cover up the 7 here, and let Jeremy Dixon take his turn.
Got a big crowd here next to us. Traffic cop in the building, clearing the way. Folks, there's plenty of room behind us. We are in front of the stadium seating. Certainly a great vantage point up top. Actually, all the PBA TV shows, I believe, as well as the championship match in Kingpin, filmed right in this general area. Lead 25 and 6, very popular here for TV. U.S. Women's Open in the past.
We haven't been paying too much attention to the crossing team as Lorenz Favai's been striking here, but John Trzynski has a 260 out there, stepping up in the 10th. And he still has it. Great shot there.
Seen him throw a lot of great shots in recent years. Amy Stolten company, 1068, 1031. And their companion team on lane 30, 1100 and 1114, 22-14.
The absolute bombs, y'all.
Aaron's going to love saying that one for a while. Nick Davis, a few pairs down, 264. But, the absolute bombs, y'all. Has a nice ring to it, 22-14. Brett Wolf and Company, 22-22. Steven Zimmer, front 9. It's an exciting night here at the National Bowling Stadium. Thank you all for being here.
All right, these guys are rolling right here in the 10th. Big double for Dixon. Setting it up for the man of the hour.
There's still time. Tell your friends. Tune in to Bowl TV. YouTube.com/Bowl TV, or you go right to bowl.com. And we're linking directly to tonight's broadcast. A little different look to our YouTube page. Even Aaron's on his feet. Ready for some excitement here.
I'll be the one writing about it afterwards, so better get the full vantage point here at the National Bowling Stadium. 259 for Trzynski, and Dixon finishes 234. I'll give you the honors, Matt.
There's Zimmer taking a deep breath, getting ready to step up on lane 24. Front 9. We've seen 1 300 on our live stream so far at this year's event. Quite a few the last couple of years. Slow rack on 24. Here it comes. I believe that's the Storm Lucid. That's the rumor, at least.
That's what it looked like earlier, so.
Whatever it is, it's striking a ton. Front 9, Steven Zimmer.
Perfect shot right there. Puts the ball in between the 8-9. Dead flush. Crossing team Craig Hansen waiting it out. Giving Zimmer all the room he needs. It seems like
it's a tough situation, even in league. Not sure what to do. Zimmer doesn't mind. He's up on the approach. Front 10.
great shot there. Ring dime. On the 11th shot, Steven Zimmer, great game. He's going to be in the 280s here.
Can't throw it any better. That's all you can ask for. We always ask that question on the lanes feature. Front 11. What are you thinking about? We almost got there. 238 and now possible 289. That's a heck of a start though. And he is lined up. Actually, we saw our first and only 800 of this year. Mr. Dean Billings had 289 at 300 to finish for 813. Also in the team event.
Dean made a run at regular all events as well, finishing just a few pins shy of John Zerbinski's number. 22-14 for Dean. I know he checked in on our last live stream here at the Open with Kenny Parks. TJ Schmidt keeping it going here. And just like that, they still got 1250s out there. So that's 60 pins on top of that 1192 they already have. So after the 1003 start.
Vernon Peterson still in the chat room. He's not going to bed yet. It's getting late there. midnight on the East Coast. Big finish here for Lawrence's Fab Five.
TJ's doing just about everything out there right now. I'm liking his ball reaction a ton. He's going to be in the 270s here. Finding that carry after some struggles and to get all 10 out in game one.
Now 3 teams in the mix here. TJ finishes that off, 278.
12:52. A humongous number here. Giving them 22:55 after 2. That won't crack the top 3, but that's...
Well, we saw a 12:72 game earlier in the year. Red carpet lanes. Chad Kloss with a 300 that night. Those guys shot 34.99.
We see Dynamic Apparel finishing out 1084, improving on their game 1 total as well. 21:41 for them.
3 teams over 2,200 after 2 here. We see this a lot. Brett Wolf and company, 22-22. They've got 10 out of 11 here in game 3. Somebody's gonna get us busy tonight. See if these guys can keep it going. We've seen a lot of great 2-game efforts this week, especially. Game 3, a little bit of a struggle. Hope Aaron charged the batteries in his calculator. So, Aaron, I'm going to guess, based on game 2, that perhaps their lane play strategy working out how they hoped.
Well, it's hard to argue with 1250 anywhere, but especially here at the National Bowling Stadium at the Open Championships. So, but yeah, looking numbers-wise, to set a record, they're going to have to bowl another record. 1283, the number needed to tie Lodge Lanes 2. So, but it's kind of looking back at that last game. There were, I believe, 2 pocket 710s for Loren's Fab 5, and obviously Zimmer's 11th shot could have been another 11 pins on top of that. They could have very easily been around that 1,300 number last game. So with
we've seen a lot of close calls, a lot of good runs. We did see our New Jersey team, the Hornswogglers, earlier this year, had 1330 heading into the 10th frame, and nobody was able to strike.
It's all about taking advantage of those doubles. Even our last live stream at the Women's Championships, defending team champions coefficient of friction, we're looking at a really big number through 8 frames, and then caught some trouble on the right lane in the 9th frame, and still put together a nice 1100 score, but stepping up in the 9th, they still had a possibility of cracking 1,200. So, but it's one of those things. It's all about catching the. Not only do you have to be around the pocket and throw a lot of great shots, you got to get lucky here and there too, and hoping for the best.
We're watching some of the best in the business here, surrounded by talent. Can they get it done here in game 3? Got to get some breaks.
Not only the team glory as well, but after 238, 289, Steven Zimmer 527 at the turn. So,
how about a rundown of everybody while we have this opportunity? Like Fitch, 220, 225.
445 for Matt Fitch. William Smith coming in 386. John Trzynski 456. Craig Hansen 414. And Mike Kahn 440. Rounding out Dynamic Apparel for Lorenz Fab 5. Jacob Wright 417. Adam Voth 385. Jeremy Dixon 436. Steven Zimmer 527. And TJ Schmidt 490. Once again, Lorenz Fab 5 1283 in the finale here would be enough to get them to, well, to tie.
Well, that's a big number, and it goes away
highest
fast.
Score ever. Absolutely. It's you got me on that a few times this year, watching teams get off to that big start, and because it seems like all the fun always happens at night when I'm working compared to your day shifts. So let's start texting Mr. Canizaro here about some great bowling going on, and yeah, they only need 1220 the last game. Not a doubt.
That is a big number. 1280. Obviously big. It's only happened once in the history of the Open Championships. A lot of games bowled here. But it was enough to take the lead and win a title back in 2011 here at the National Bowling Stadium. Lifetime average leader Gail Myers Jr., USBC Hall of Famer Jeff Riggles. If it's possible on paper, then it's possible. Never count them out. Both. Big shot after the Open. Don't count out Brett Wolf and company either.
A lot of strikes up there early in game 3.
No matter what, record score or not, we're going to see a great head start, or 3, towards Team All events. That number has been up there for a long time this year. 10,247. It's a sprint and a marathon.
Don't get winded.
Two different patterns, the true test of versatility here. Every squad contested on fresh oil. So every bowler who goes out there starting on the exact same thing. Eric Vermelia and company will be back at work tomorrow. I'm sure he'll have X bowling pulled up.
Keeping an eye on these talented youngsters. I don't get to say that too often, so I'm going to enjoy that. Youngsters. How about that? I was going to say the other two teams in this group bowled yesterday, actually. Put together some nice scores. They were out here watching earlier. Matt Ogle led the way, had a 750. Made his run at perfection as well in the opener. Front 9 before a 10-pin with a messenger flying across the deck. I don't know how it missed it, but started off with a 279 and ended up at 750, and a few other solid scores out of that group. I know they're taking to the lanes here right after this squad, starting in 10:30.
As you were reminiscing there, Jeremy Dixon whiffs on the 4-pin. And Steven Zimmer goes high, leaves the 610.
So we saw a few shots earlier in game 2 on 23, run a little bit high on these guys and check up early, and that might be the trouble lane here.
Well, these guys quickly running out of room. So it's early here.
Certainly can't be giving away any spares at this point.
Right at the 1400 mark now, so already 100 pins gone. They only have another 115 to work with or so. I know that's the one thing I always got on Emil about. He would call me or text me, let me know, these guys got a shot, man. They got a shot. They still got 1240 out there. And then I'd find out 10 minutes later they're only in the 4th frame. The good old days. Now we're having the good new days.
Thanks.
Next year we'll try to get the band back together. How about that?
That'd be scary.
The trifecta of media relations.
Be a lot of trips to awful. Or Little Nugget for an awful. Excuse me.
That does not sound awful.
Speaking of not awful, a few frames ahead here, or through 5 right now almost. Bowler's Edge, Gilbert, Arizona, Brett Wolf and Company. A lot of strikes up there. After a 10:62, 11:60 start.
Should they keep striking, it is possible that that'll be a tournament memory left uncaptured. Not sure how we can figure that one out, but we'll do our best because that's what we do here.
Yeah, through 5. Everybody on that team will have at least 4 strikes. 1 open early from Hugh Rodman and a few spares up there. That's it.
Well, we've got the calculators out.
Brett Wolf goes through the note, or went high at least.
Looks like he left the 6-pin.
I think it was fortunate just to leave that, saw a few pins up on the left side still standing for a second there. So.
Got ourselves a nail biter. How'd you like to be in brackets on this squad?
Whoa, doggy. And certainly a lot of strikes across the board here. As we've had with 300s this year, it seems like scores kind of come in bunches, where it'll be quiet for a few days and then it seems like everything's happening on the same squad, and certainly the case right now. It's a lot of action.
All right, so TJ Schmidt and Company, only 90 pins left to play with here. As the Voth makes his spare. David O'Sullivan stopping by. Getting ready to bowl here at 10:30 tonight. This guy's had a solid effort last night, 3,300. Good head start towards team all events. checking out some of their fellow Moorhead State bowlers.
With that spare in the second, Steven Zimmer doesn't have any more room. He needs a lot of strikes from here on out to become the second person of the 2013 event to get to 800.
Brett Wolf and company, they need 13-16 to get to the lead. They are striking like crazy. That's lane 15 if you want to check it out on xbowling.com. Things cooling down a little bit over on 29 and 30.
TJ Schmidt looking to rally the troops here on 24. Lone double so far for the Rins Fab 5.
It's like a big 4 pickup on lane 22.
Did not affect
See that on the left side of your screen there on the live stream broadcast if you want to rewind it. But you don't want to miss any of the action over here. Also want to point out Brett Wolf and company right in front of one of our webcams, and those are operational. Right now we have enough bandwidth to be able to have that up, so you can check out at least the action there. You can't see the scoreboard, but you can see them rolling along here. Game number 3. Guys finishing up the 6th frame, still have 1400 out there. Long way to go though.
Wolf goes light. Look like a bucket. The Blue Hammers run into some carry down maybe. A nice shot by both. Yeah, these guys are going to need to go on the kind of run they had last game if they want to start making some noise here.
Well, we got a hello from Scotland here in the chat room. The crowd shrinking a little bit. It's getting late there on the East Coast. Appreciate everybody being here. Matt Canizaro and Aaron Smith live at the 2013 USBC Open Championships. A lot of strikes being thrown here on tonight's broadcast on this pair and around us. We saw 12:52. Game 2 for TJ Schmidt and company.
A near perfect game by Steven Zimmer. 289. Great shot in the 11th, or ring 10, ending his run at becoming the 25th bowler the 2013 event to reach perfection. Mason Sherman still looking to join that group. He's going for number 7 right now on 15 and 16.
We saw Mason on our live stream broadcast last year. Check out the archives on youtube.com/BowlTV. All kinds of goodies on there. We've been at the Open Championships since 2010. A lot of great moments captured for your viewing pleasure.
And just like that, the red strike's up once again. First Aaron
Go ahead.
Oh, first Aaron shot we've seen out of TJ in a very long time. Got that ball way right. I believe in the 2-4-8-10. So I guess his run becoming the first player in tournament history with 3 300s. We'll have to wait till tomorrow.
That's where he shines in doubles. The lead still a possibility for Boulder's Edge of Gilbert, Arizona. They don't have much room. They're in the 7th frame. You can check it out on xbowling.com or on the bowl.com Open Championships page on our webcams. Video action.
Is that 1367 I see on your phone over there?
1367 still possible. They need 1316. Brett Wolf went high, then went light, but mixes them up here for a strike in the 7th. Jacob Wright leaves the baby split here on lane 24.
Yeah, these guys need to find something quick here. It's whatever was working so well in game number 2 is just not there right now here in game 3. And I think one of the interesting things, I know we mentioned earlier, looking over at 15 and 16, it doesn't appear that they brought a crossing team, Brett Wolf and company. And we've seen that a few times where some teams have shot humongous scores without the aid of having another team carve away at the pattern. I know Leaf Lovers are currently 3rd in regular team with 35.09. We're out on their own with, just another team out here taking their run at the Open Championships. So it certainly can go both ways. Obviously, having all 10 guys carve away at a pattern has been proven to be helpful over and over and over again here in the years, but not having that crossing team doesn't necessarily count you out.
Well, just because if you're bowling with strangers doesn't mean it's not an opportunity to get together and talk strategy, work together out there.
Certainly true as well. We have no idea what they may have been talking about. Team Fleming out of, looks like Peculiar, Missouri. Is that what that says? Christy Kent, Edward Fleming, Paul Fleming, not the Paul Fleming. Michael Kent and Rachel Kent on lane 16.
there's an open frame for their leadoff bowler. Still not eliminated mathematically. Mason Sherman now up on lane 16, working on 7 in a row. Didn't look happy.
I think a 10-pin might have stood up there for Mason.
10-pin in the way, so we'll subtract another 21 pins. They have to be perfect the rest of the way. 22-22 after 2. They need 13-16. Of course, all these scores unofficial here by my calculations. If I was better at math, I wouldn't be a rider.
Amen to that.
Callan gets that one in, leaves the 10-pin.
The strikes are just not there in game 3 for these guys. A few doubles up on the board, but as a collective bunch, they're not putting up the numbers they hoped after that 1250 in game 2.
Well, we've seen it a lot this year. The new ice oil. The transition, very much delayed. The oil holds up very well. That's what it's designed for. Teams early didn't realize that, and they made their usual moves too soon. Been at this since March 1st. So no doubt TJ and his guys have watched, studied a little bit, waited for that move a little bit. And then now what we're seeing is some struggles in game 3. As I talked to some folks earlier today, when that transition happens, it happens quickly. And you got to make a big move. Couple close calls this week. Was having dinner the other night, getting updates via text. Team had 33-0, didn't break 1,000 in the last game. And we see the same thing in doubles. Something at the end of game 2 happens. Got to make a move, and a lot of teams are struggling in the finale. But we'll see if these guys can hold on here for a nice finish. Get a real head start towards team all events. They'll be back on the lane sometime tomorrow. Adam Voth not done yet throwing pins for a 3-bagger. Bowler's Edge not going to take the lead here tonight. Vernon Peterson will get you some sleep. However, it's going to be a long day for Eric Vermelia tomorrow. First, he's got to get through tonight. David O'Sullivan, PJ Haggerty. About to get it done in doubles and singles at 10:30. Then a few teams on this squad well on their way. Aaron shot there by Zimmer. A lot of strikes in the first 2 games, and now just 1 here through 6 frames in game 3. Possibly a little bit of nerves and excitement coming off of that big 1250 and the 289.
I think you mentioned earlier that Aaron Lorenz checked in the chat room saying maybe they were a little too far left to start out here. Perhaps that could be what's going on right now here in Game 3. They have handcuffed themselves and gotten into no man's land here.
Whatever ball it was that Zimmer was throwing, looks like he just put it away. And he's going to think through a ball change. Based on what we've seen in previous team events, this might be the time they go for the gold. We'll see.
Still a lot of pins to get out there, so these guys, as you mentioned, looking to set up for tomorrow as well. Great shot by Hansen there. His second double here in the finale.
It's possible we've been all wrong on our guess about Steve Zimmer's ball choice tonight. Again, from where we are, hard to always tell. We get whatever intel we can before they start, of course, but then when you have 6 or 8 balls to choose from, anything can happen throughout the night. This guy's still striking. Down on 15, but going to be a little bit short. TJ Schmidt trying to clean up his 7 pin. Got to remember to grab that score sheet when we're done here, packing up the gear. Only a few more broadcasts left this year. If you want to see what they are, go to bowl.com. Check out the right side of the homepage, the live stream schedule, or just go to bowl.com live stream /live stream. You'll have all the details. Lucas Wiseman getting ready to head to the Senior Masters out in Las Vegas.
Already seen a few guys checking in from Vegas and on Facebook. Now our good friend Jeff Riggles already has just got there earlier today. A friend of mine from back home, Rick Wolozin, be out there competing in his first. Already out in Vegas. So Kenny Parks and Bob Learn, who we saw last week live on Bowl TV here, heading back to Vegas for that. So always a fun, exciting tournament. Seniors always put on a show, and Lucas will have some great insight, and we'll see who comes out on top this year. Both continuing to strike here in game number 3. That's 4 in a row.
So a lot of folks nearby trying to do the calculations. Joe Steiner, I believe he bowls for Midland now. Getting ready for the 10:30 squad as well. Just checking out lane 15. 12:50 still out there. 34.81, the best they can do. That'll get him in the top 10. Still need a Big 10 frame. Things quieting down on lane 30 also.
Hard to believe after all those strikes on for Bowler's Edge, not a single strike in the 8th frame. So we'll see what they've figured out in the time in between, see if they can put together a Big 10 frame there.
Good shot from Hansen for a three-bagger. He's been quiet tonight. Plugging along.
214-200 the gates for Mr. Hansen.
Well, we're 7 for 7 here on this pair.
Ooh.
In the 7th frame, and Zimmer has a few choice words for that 7-10. Glad these guys aren't mic'd up. I'm sure you can guess.
So we have seen an inordinate amount of 7-10s today. I believe there are 2 or 3 last game, 1 or 2 in the opener. And that one right there.
We almost saw one picked up on lane 22. He got a friendly bounce. That's where we saw the big 4 picked up earlier tonight. I've never seen that in person in all my years and days here at this event. And Mike Kahn almost gives us a chance to see another one. Actually leaves a 4-6-7 after an open. He's struggling here in game 3. TJ Schmidt up on the right, trying to get back on track. Aaron, what's his team average compared to doubles and singles?
I'll take a gander here. Got a lot of sheets to go through.
Well, TJ's 224, almost 225 for his 3-year career.
We usually aren't this disorganized. There it is. All right. As you said, TJ, for his lifetime here at the Open, 224.9, but he's all over the place as far as how he gets their team. 203.1, doubles 245.7, and singles right in the middle, 226. So.
Well, it's a heck of a start to a career. Looks like 1850, then 2232 in 2011 and 1990. Last year on a very challenging condition in Baton Rouge. So we're gonna see some big scores out of him, no doubt. He's still just a youngster. Buller's Edge trying to find its way into the top 10. 34.80 still out there. Or high 34.70 now with the 6 count on the field ball by their leadoff guy. Mason Sherman doubles up. He's in the 270s. Check that out on xbowling.com, lane 15.
Yeah, they can still move into 5th place here with a bunch of strikes. Currently in 5th, careerathletes.com, featuring regular singles and all events leader John Srbinski at 34.69. So we'll see how close they can get to that number.
Good run at that washout by Adam Foth, but leaves the 10 after 4 in a row. Sherman finishes with 279 down in lane 15. $34.77 still possible until that 8 count by Robert Patterson.
The third.
The third. Struggles continuing for Lawrence's Fab Five. Dynamic Apparel catching fire here late in game number 3. Trzynski makes it 3 in a row for his team. They got 1050, 1080 out there. So nice little prize check coming their way.
Absolutely, and the strong finish here put themselves in a decent spot as well for tomorrow. Great shot by Hansen there. He's still got 260s out there.
Possible 34-57 still left out there for Brett Wolf and his guys. Zimmer looks baffled out there. Leaves the 3-6. One strike this game came in the first frame after 238, 289.
It's crazy how fast it can just go away, just like that. Obviously, he had a bad break last frame with the 710, but
the transition not kind to Lawrence's Fab 5 after 12:52. Bit of a roller coaster for these guys. 1003, game number 1.
TJ follows suit, going high there. 3-6, 9-10.
Fourth bowler up on lane 15. Got the first strike. Goes high. Looks like a 4-pin from here. He'll be in the 240s.
It's actually an 8 count. Must have something. Must have some 10-pin along with that as well.
Those guys, 34-45, still possible. We'll get them just inside the top 10. Open frame for TJ Schmidt. One strike in the 8th frame. Dynamic Apparel, 5 for 5. And 9 out of the last 10. So they're making their move here. They're going to end up being high on the pair.
Well, they still got ways to go there. It's about 160 pin difference between them, give or take. But yeah, those strikes start adding up quick.
And misses. Take away pins awfully quickly too. Brett Wolf's going to step up and close things out on lane 15 and 16 there. Gets an 8 count.
That looks like that could be a 7-10 from here. It looks, I see an 8 and I see a 7-pin.
Never good news when you can only see one. Great shot there from Matt Fitch for 3 in a row.
Matt Fitch quietly having a nice day. 220, 225 out of the gates. Sets up the foundation frame for Dynamic Apparel.
William Smith stepping up on 23 here. I wonder how many Fresh Prince jokes he's heard in his life. Trzynski striking it up here at 2:59 in game 2. Working on the 5-bagger here in the finale.
Started with 197, 456 at the turn. So has 250s out there again this game. So
Wolf and Company, 34-12. Aaron's going to write that down as our 14th 3400 of the year. Extending that record. Most previously was 7 back in 2011.
You said that was the 14th? So we doubled it?
By my calculations, that's number 14. So yes.
Wowzers.
This year's team pattern. Very strike friendly, if you can put them together. We're seeing some roller coaster rides, however. We're watching one here on lanes 23 and 24. John Trzynski.
6 in a row. These guys are putting up a huge finish here.
Did we find a record on John, or is he a first timer?
Looked to be this was his first tournament, I believe. I didn't see.
It's a heck of a start. Steven Zimmer delivers in the 9th frame to keep his team's momentum.
All right, and Mike Kahn looking to make it 2 frames in a row. 14 out of 15.
Team 10-bagger coming right up.
Can't ask for much more than that.
That's 10 in a row. That's a whole bunch of strikes.
That is.
They're solid all night, 1057, 1084. And they're rocking here in the second half of game number 3.
They can add 450 after their score with everybody working on a double. So that's a lot. Just gotta say, they may sneak up. They may catch their crossing team here. The Lorenz Fab 5 responded with 4 out of 5 strikes in the foundation frame.
It looks like 32.59 and 31.65 over on 29 and 30. A couple of cashers. Make sure we grab those score sheets as well. Dan Patterson finishes with 263. That's world champion Dan Patterson. Ronnie Sparks, also part of that world championship team in the building, bowling tonight at 10:30. All right, so here we are, frame number 10. The team 10-bagger ends. Jacob Wright looking for a break, doesn't get one. He'll be in the 2 teens. On the verge of 3,100 here. No doubt these guys are wondering what happened after going 1250 in game 2.
Fitch finishes 198 for 643. Wright 217, 634. It's assuming my math is correct. But we don't assume here, do we, Matt Canizaro?
Certainly not.
Great shot by Schmidt there. It's nice to say that after my performance here. 244 finish for William Smith. Gets him to 630. His Vogt finishes off 223.
Nice comeback for him after a tough game number 1.
Yeah, 163 out of the gates. Fouled up 222, 223. For 608.
600 out here, anytime. Great effort. Bad for side action, the way that worked out, but it's all about the team score here. Going for the eagle. Trzynski goes high.
Ends his streak of 6 strikes in a row. Here's Dixon. Great shot there. Yeah, no matter what the final tally ends up being, a great effort on behalf of both of these teams.
And we had fun. And that's
of course,
the important thing, and they certainly did too, I think. Not looking like they're having too much fun right now, but a strong finish. They got to feel real good about that. I don't believe I've talked to any bowler at this event this year, John Zerbinski included, who didn't say, we bowled well, but we left a whole bunch out there.
You can imagine these guys from Malurin's Fab Fives will wonder what happened to the Magic after that humongous game 2, but they'll be walking out of here with 3,200 plus easily. Maybe even cracking 3,300, definitely still out there. And good stuff, 7.
Great night for John.
233. Put him at 689. Dixon finishes with the 3-bagger for 204. And 640.
If in fact it is John's first tournament, it's quite a debut.
Not only the pressure of coming out here, walking down center aisle for the first time, but as well as having the live stream set up here. Granted, he's has been on the big stage before on the collegiate level, so it certainly did not seem like it bothered him. .247 finish for Craig Hansen.
Well, this one is pretty close going into the 10th frame. No doubt some bragging rights probably on the line here.
Certainly, it's yeah, it could be extremely close.
About a tie.
A tie. Everybody wins. They split the prize fund at the end of the year. Well, Dynamic Apparel can go ahead with Zimmer missing that 10th in there. 169 finish.
So it's going to come down to the 10th frame here for bragging rights for the year.
696 finish for Steven Zimmer. As TJ and Mike finish it off here. TJ gets the mixer.
Sure is getting quiet. Oiling the lanes up right now for the 10:30 doubles and singles squad.
Certainly is one of the last pairs on this side of the house to be finishing up here, so we finally got some space here, Matt.
At least we're not in the way.
All right, 32-51 finish for Dynamic Apparel. Going, they got stronger each game, 11-10 in their finale.
That is a great effort from those guys. You got to feel good about that. 32-50 at the Open Championships.
And with one more strike here, TJ and company be over 1,000 again, and 32-80 out there. Get on that horse ball. 212 finish for TJ Schmidt.
With the shout out to Emil Williams Jr.
TJ finishes with the lone 700 out of the group, 702. But on the other spectrum of that, no one under 600. So you can't ask for much more than that. 32-80, Lorenz Fab 5. 32-51, Dynamic Apparel.
Brett Wolf walking by. 34-12. Solid effort.
Very big number indeed, and like I said, certainly some solid scores up there for our Bull TV audience as well today. So
plenty of excitement here at the Open Championships. We're about to wrap things up on another live stream broadcast. More than 20 in the books here in 2013. That is that. So we'll be back with you guys on the 15th right here at the National Bowling Stadium. Chris Hester, talented left-hander, coming to town. See what he can put together for us. But for now, Dynamic Apparel 32-51. Lawrence's Fab 5 32-80. Nice run here. Make sure to check these guys on xbowling.com tomorrow. See how they do in doubles and singles. That's going to do it for us here tonight at the NBS. This is Matt Canizaro and Aaron Smith. Checking out of here. Going to get some rest. We'll have all the news and notes for you on bowl.com, but for now, that is the news. We'll see you on the lanes.